Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, my name is Nazwar Syihab and I'm from English Education Department. We in Sunan Gunung Jati from 4D class, and now here I'm gonna tell you guys about English class, and my material today is about how to deal with fast and slow learners and the principles of TEYL. Okay, so the first one is how to deal with active and passive learners. Okay, so the first one, uh, dealing with passive and active learners, we need to give everyone equal chance to speak up. So we, as a teacher in the class, we have to give equal opportunities for all students. So all students can have the same opportunity to speak, to express what they think, to say what they think, to say their opinion. So everyone has the same chance. So there is no gap between the active and passive learner. And the second one is give them reinforcement. So what is reinforcement? So reinforcement is, for example, like compliment or reward. So we as a teacher, when we are teaching young learner, so when young learner is like answering question or giving question, sometimes we need to give them a compliment or a word for what, so that the young learners can be motivated to speak in the class. So it could be motivating the passive learner to speak in the class, not just the active learner, so that the active learner is more motivated in the class, while the passive learner is motivated to speak in the class. And the third is mix the passive and active students in the same group. Okay, so the third is we as a teacher, when we are make the method like group discuss or group work, we as a teacher, we have to mix the students between the active and the passive, so because so that when so group discussion or group work is student centered. So the student centered approach, right? So uh in the process of the student centered, the active learner can teach the passive learner, and maybe the passive learner will be more brave to ask the question to the active learner if they are too too shy to speak in the class to the teacher. So the passive learner can more be braver to ask question to their friends. So it's like a peer teaching concept. And the fourth is call out their names. So we as a teacher, maybe sometimes we have to call one students to give their focus and it should be equal to active and passive learner. And the fifth is give motivating words. It's the same like the reinforcement, giving compliment or reward to uh, young learner, and what is it? The example could be like, wow, that was great idea. So when we as a teacher give them compliment, the young learner can be motivated to speak more in the class. Okay. Okay, the next material is principles of the EYL. So what are these principles of the EYL? So there is four principles in the EYL, and there are implicit learning, uh, contextual learning, meaningful learning, and then what is it? Student-centered learning, like that. So we are directly to the first one. So the first one is implicit learning. So what is implicit learning? Implicit learning is a type of learning that occurs without conscious awareness or intention. Okay, so from this simple definition of implicit learning, we can know that the implicit learning is a learning type that we as a teacher not directly teach them language, but it the in the what is it? The language teaching is implicit in the activity. the example can be like storytelling. So why storytelling? In storytelling, so the teacher just give the student storytelling, but in the storytelling there is the implicit material like the vocabulary, the speaking, and could be a grammar for the young learner. So it's implicit, right? The teacher not say in front of the class direct like, okay, students, today we're gonna learn some vocabularies, we're gonna learn some grammar, not like that, but the teacher like do like, okay, student, today I'm gonna give you story. So I'm gonna storytelling to you story. So you can listen to me. You can listen. You can listen to me and take notes for the storytelling. And from the storytelling, the students can catch the vocab, can catch the grammar, and also learning speak and also learning listening. So that is one of the example of implicit learning. And the second one is contextual learning. So what is contextual learning? So you can see from the slide, the definition of contextual learning is an approach to teaching and learning that emphasize the importance of situating new knowledge and skills within meaningful real life context. So basically, contextual learning is teaching something to a young learner with the real context. So for the example, like learning about uh, things in class or maybe stationary. So it's there is a clear context to the young learner, so the young learner not confused while teaching. And another um, example of contextual learning, like maybe a game that guessing things, but the context is animal. So there is a clear context. So the learning environment is focused on one context. So the young learner is can be more easily focused to the material. So that is contextual learning. Okay, the third is learner-centeredness. So what is learner-centeredness? Learner-centeredness is an approach to teaching and learning that emphasizes the learner needs, interests, and abilities. Okay, so learner-centeredness is the opposite of teaching center, while the teaching center is the teaching method when the teacher is like giving speech to the students. So the teaching style or the situation in the class is more into uh, teacher giving speech to student, while learner-centeredness is the activity is give focus on student. Okay, so of so what is it for more understandable? I'm going giving you an example. So the example is like presentation or a game. So the is it clear like when in the presentation the teaching learning environment is more into students than a teacher. The teacher is just being a facilitator while the student is the focus on the learning itself. So it's learner centered. And then the last one is meaningful learning. So what is meaningful learning? Meaningful learning is an approach to teaching and learning that emphasizes the importance of connecting information to existing knowledge and experience. Okay, so meaningful learning is shortly can we say that learning that related to student daily life. For example, I'm giving you the example meaningful learning like maybe when the teacher is checking presence in the class and the teachers ask the student to say what food they had for breakfast at that day. Okay, so maybe there is somebody teachers like maybe calling Ahmad, what food are you breakfast with? What food you had breakfast with today? And I was like, porridge means so like that. So the teacher is giving material that related to students' daily life. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sorry if there is words that inappropriate for me to say in front of you, or maybe uh, my explanation is not clear because I'm still learning too. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.